Mr. Bean is quiet, awkward, a grown man who still plays with his teddy bear. He ruins nearly every situation he walks into. And yet, somehow, he's had more girlfriends than most cartoon characters ever will. That's not an exaggeration. From candlelit dinners to accidental kisses, Mr. Bean's love life is surprisingly complicated. You probably think it's just Irma Gobb. What if I told you there were many more, including jealous rivals, obsessed stalkers, and even one woman who kissed him and disappeared forever? This isn't just a list. This is a deep dive into one of the weirdest romantic timelines in animated history, filled with missed opportunities, one-sided disasters, and rare moments of real emotional vulnerability. So today, we're ranking every romantic connection Mr. Bean ever had, from sweet to toxic, from emotional to what the hell just happened. And trust me, by the end of this, you won't look at Mr. Bean the same way again. Most people only remember Irma Gobb, the sweet sweater-wearing girlfriend who put up with Mr. Bean's antics for years. And sure, she deserves her place at the top of the list. But once you start looking a little deeper across the animated series, the live-action moments, and those one-off emotional scenes, you'll find a trail of women who flirted with, fought with, and even fell for this silent menace. Let's start with the one woman who's been there since day one, Irma Gobb. Irma Gobb is the most consistent presence in Mr. Bean's emotional life. If we can even call it that, she's not just a one-off character or a background extra. She's his girlfriend, his sometimes patient, often frustrated, forever underappreciated girlfriend. And honestly, she deserves an award for lasting as long as she did. Irma's role has always been clear. She's the human being who believes in Bean. While everyone else rolls their eyes, runs away, or gets hurt in his chaos, Irma stays, sometimes with a sigh, sometimes with an eye roll, but always with hope. She's the one who plans their outings. She brings him gifts. She even tries to teach him manners. And what does she get in return? Ruins dinner, forgets birthdays, and spends more time cuddling a stuffed bear than holding her hand. But here's the thing, it wasn't always a disaster. In the early days, there were some genuinely sweet moments. Like that time she thought Miss Bean was proposing and started crying happy tears. Or the episode where she holds out hope that Bean remembered their anniversary, even though he obviously didn't. There's a vulnerability to Irma, a quiet loyalty that makes you want her to be happy, even if that means she walks away. And sometimes she does. There are episodes where she leaves him, where she's had enough, where even Irma can't take it anymore. You can see the disappointment in her eyes when he ruins her plans. Again, and in those rare scenes where she actually walks off and doesn't look back, you realize this woman loved him. She really truly tried. And that makes her heartbreak feel real. Now let's talk about the darker side. Because Irma isn't just some sweet pushover. In later episodes, we start to see a different side of her. One that's controlling, even manipulative. She gets jealous. She raises her voice. She throws things. In some scenes, she even physically lashes out that she stuck around, not because she loved Bean, but because she wanted to fix him. And when she couldn't, the resentment showed. Still, no one else got as close to Mr. Bean's heart as Irma did. She knew him, she tolerated him, and she even loved him for a while. But when a relationship feels one-sided, when one person is constantly giving and the other is barely aware, it doesn't last forever. And maybe that's why, one day, Irma Gobb simply disappeared. No breakup scene, no dramatic ending, just gone. Replaced by other girls, and Bean, he barely seemed to notice. That's what makes it hurt the most. Because if Irma Gobb really was the love of Mr. Bean's life, he didn't act like girlfriend to Roxy, the rival flame. If Irma Gobb was the loyal partner, Roxy was the dangerous alternative. She's everything Irma isn't. Loud, bold, confident, and most importantly, she likes Mr. Bean for his chaos. While Irma tried to fix him, Roxy practically cheered him on. And for a guy who ruins everything he touches, that kind of energy is magnetic. Roxy didn't appear in many episodes, but when she did, you felt it. She walked in with a spark. And suddenly, Irma wasn't the only girl in the picture. The tension was instant, not just between Bean and Roxy, but between Roxy and Irma. The two shared scenes where you could feel the rivalry without a single word being spoken. He started trying harder around Roxy. He dressed up. He acted smoother. Well, as smooth as Mr. Bean can act. There's even that iconic moment at the restaurant where Roxy laughs at Bean's disaster of a performance and still leans in closer, like she loved it. But here's where it gets complicated. While Irma represented stability and comfort, Roxy was all about adrenaline. Being around her felt like lighting a match next to a firework factory. One wrong move, and everything exploded. explodes. And honestly, that's probably why Bean was drawn to her. For once he wasn't being judged, he wasn't being corrected. He was just being Mr. Bean. And instead of eye rolls or disappointment, Roxy gave him laughter, encouragement, maybe even flirtation. But was it real? That's where fans are split. Some believe Roxy truly liked Bean, chaos and all. Others think she saw him as entertainment, not romance. A walking comedy show she could giggle at and walk away from. What we do know is this: whenever Roxy appeared, Irma got jealous, and that jealousy was real. It created distance. It even pushed Irma to walk away. Whether Bean knew it or not, his dynamic with Roxy may have been the final crack in his relationship with Irma. And here's the tragic part: just like Irma, Roxy eventually vanished. No closure, no goodbye. She came into Bean's life like a thunderstorm and left just as fast. But for a brief moment, Roxy made Mr. Bean feel seen. Not in spite of his weirdness, but because of it. Of all the bizarre things Mr. Bean has done in his life, this might be the strangest way he ever accidentally made a girlfriend without even trying. It was supposed to be a peaceful birthday dinner. Mr. Bean dressed up, brought Teddy along, and went to a fancy restaurant hoping for some cake and calm. But the moment he walked through the doors, everything went wrong. He got caught in a paparazzi swarm, chasing two celebrities. Then he unknowingly sat at their reserved table. Champagne bottles popped, waiters fell, and the staff quickly pushed him into the corner, alone, forgotten, embarrassed. But it didn't stop there. When he tried to light his birthday cupcake, the candle set Teddy on fire, and when he ran to save him, he accidentally caused a scene so huge, he ended up replacing the actual waiter. Suddenly, Mr. Bean was running the restaurant, and everything got worse. He tried to serve lobster,
Big one.
bought the lobster, chased it through the kitchen, and then saved it from being cooked alive. At one point, he even pretended to be the chef and served fake lobster made from vegetables. Pure chaos. And yet, in the middle of all this madness, someone was watching. The glamorous female celebrity, the one every camera was flashing for, saw Mr. Bean stumbling around, soaking wet, confused, clumsy, but also brave, sweet, and completely himself. She didn't run from him. She laughed. She smiled. She leaned in and gave him a kiss on the cheek, right in front of the cameras. For one tiny moment, Mr. Bean became the center of the story, not because he was rich or smooth, but because he was real. He didn't flirt, he didn't chase her, he didn't even know her name, but somehow, by being awkward and kind and accidentally heroic, he earned a moment of connection. And for Mr. Bean, that might just count as a love story. So, what did we learn? Mr. Bean is not your typical romantic hero. He doesn't bring flowers. He doesn't say the right words. Half the time, he doesn't say anything at all. But somehow, he's had more girlfriends, more near misses, and more heartbreak than most of us ever expected. Irma tried to fix him. Roxy loved the chaos. And the celebrity, she kissed him for just being real. But in the end, none of them stayed. Not because they were bad people, not because Bean was evil, but maybe, just maybe, because Mr. Bean isn't meant to love the way we do. Maybe his greatest relationship was with Teddy, the one soul who never left him, never judged, never cried, never walked away. And when you think about it like that, Mr. Bean wasn't unlucky in love. He just loved differently. Not with words, not with dates, but with loyalty, with presence, with the kind of innocence we rarely see anymore. So whether it was Irma, Roxy, the girl at the restaurant, or no one at all, maybe Mr. Bean didn't need a girlfriend to feel complete. Maybe he just needed someone or something to hold on to. And that was always Teddy.